first country for the day, and yeah, we're on Morocco at the moment. So yeah, here we go. Starting off with history as usual. The written history of Morocco begins about 1000 BC, when the people called the Phoenicians from what is now Lebanon sailed there, and the Phoenicians were traders and founded trading post in Morocco, as the Phoenicians founded a city of Carthage, what is now Tunisia, and soon after Carthage it became a dominant power in the region. Meanwhile, in about 400 BC, the native Berber tribesmen formed the kingdom of Mauritania. In 146 BC, the Romans conquered Carthage, and their influence in North Africa gradually grew. And finally, in 42 AD, the Romans annexed the kingdom of Mauritania, and Morocco remained under Roman rule until the 5th century AD. And in 681, the Arabs began raiding Morocco, and by 705 they were in control of Morocco as Arabs introduced Islam to Morocco. And from there, in 1711, they invaded Spain and conquered most of it, but Morocco soon broke up into a number of different kingdoms. And in 789, a man named Idris founded a small kingdom, and his son Idris II made Fez the capital. And in the following centuries, Fez became a centre of culture. And in the 11th century, the Berbers called the Almoravids from what is now Mauritania advanced north and conquered what is now Morocco. And in the 12th century, people called the Almohads rebelled against the Almoravids, and they founded a new dynasty, and under the Almoravids, Moroccan culture had flourished. However, in the 13th century, the Almohads lost most of the Muslim territory in Spain, where only Granada remained. Furthermore, in the years 1248, the people called the Marinids began to overthrow the Almohads, although it was not until 1269 that they captured Marrakesh and brought the old dynasty to an end. And from the same cycle followed, the Marinids eventually declined and were overthrown. And the next Berber dynasty was called the Wattasids, and they began to seize power in 1240, and they were all over Morocco by 1469. The next Moroccan dynasty was of Arab origin, as Sardians captured Marrakesh, and in 1525 the Fez in 1548, and the Sardian dynasty reached a peak during the years of 1257 to 1603, and in the time of Ahmed el Mansur, known as the Golden One. However, after his death the dynasty declined, as Mali Rashid from 1664 to 1672 founded a new dynasty, the Alawites, and then the Mali Ismail from 1672 to 1727. Morocco was a strong and centralised state, and during the 19th century Morocco remained an independent country. But in 1912 Morocco was forced to become a French protectorate, and naturally Moroccans resented the loss of their independence, and the whole country was not subdued until 1934. However, during 1942, during World War II, the Allies landed in Morocco, and the result was sympathetic to the Moroccans. In 1994, a manifesto of independence was published, and in 1947 the Sultan declared that he was in favour of independence. And in 1953 the French deposed the Sultan, but he returned in 1956, and Morocco became independent in 1956. As Hassan II became king of Morocco in 1961 and reigned until 1991, and during the 1960s and 70s. Morocco suffered from political instability, and the constitution was drawn up in 1962, and followed by another in 1970. However, the king survived 2 coup attempts in 1971 and 72, and in 1981 there were riots in Casablanca. And in 1996, Morocco was given a new constitution. And in 1999, Mohammed VI became king. And today, Morocco is a fast developing country with the main industries are textiles and tourism. That's your biscuits. And in July 2011, voters in Morocco approved a new constitution for the country, and today the population of Morocco is about 34 million-ish. And yeah, moving on to legends. As there's a couple, I'm going to say two. The first is Tessa Dawn, and it is Dare, or Cemetery Mule, as the story is popular. Hello? Yeah. I think Rowan's come back and unlocked the door for me. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Bye. It happened as the Tassardot Naysandar or Century Mule is popular in the southern region of Morocco, particularly in the Souls region, as it is an ancient Amazigh legend that goes along like this, as there's a female demon who lives in the cemeteries. As a demon appears as a mule who wanders around cemeteries at night, and some even reported that when an unknowing person sees a mule demon and tries to mount her, she takes them to a cemetery and begins to dig their grave. And according to certain variations, the female demon is a ghost of a widow that doesn't abide by the Muslim rules of wearing white for 40 days of mourning. And she is transformed into a mule, which continues to haunt various regions of the country, as many people reported. And there are many versions of the story, as others say that there is not entirely a mule, and the bottom half of the body is that of a mule. But the top half is still a woman, and according to what they saw, they're kind of similar to a lot of other demon stories where people rooted what they look like, as the creature is also apparently afraid of anything metal. As a show of different stories involving the Tassadmon, Isamdar, as the legend is not as common as the next one. And yeah, as the next one is Achia Gandicha, or Condessa. As the legend says, Achia Condessa, as we call it, as a derivative of the original nickname of La Condessa. Well, yeah, is a succubus type of demon who is beautiful, and he uses to be beauty to seduce men in her den and has sex with them, and then kills them and feeds off their flesh and blood. And it said that she is only afraid of one thing, and that thing is fire. According to the different stories about men being able to escape the hold she had on them by lighting someone on fire and then disappearing. And in some versions the story include her legs being that of a camel, donkey, a sheep, and so on and so forth, as is what was a female animal legs. And as mentioned earlier, the origin of the legend of Achia Condessa was from a noble family of Andalusian descent, and that she was living in Morocco and helped alongside Moroccan soldiers in the 5th century to fight the Portuguese off. He had killed her family, and she was said to be such a good warrior that the Portuguese believed that she was not human, as Achia Condessa apparently seduced soldiers and drew them into rivers, swamps, where she killed them in horrible ways and scared the European colonisers off. And yeah, that is Morocco for you, and I'll see you shortly for Qatar and American Samoa. Yeah, bye for now.